Big dog, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, you knew you couldn't leave Neely now.
That's right. That's right. Can't leave the man. Come on in here, man.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Feeling like a winner. Feel like a winner, man. When you hang around winners, you feel like a winner.
Hey,
You know?
you are your 3 closest friends.
That is correct. That is correct. And when you're around winners, all you worry about is winning. You know? Always remember this. Winners worry about winning, and losers worry about winners. How about that now?
My brother.
What's going on, man?
I can't complain. Cannot complain about yourself.
I'm doing great, man. I tell you what, I wake up every day, and it's a brighter day. Every day. You know, you out here in a wonderful environment with a wonderful opportunity, and you see what we're, you know, the goal, obviously, people that's brought you out here, and you just wake up blessed every day.
Energized, ready to go.
Absolutely.
And you guys have, you know, been there, done that now. You have taken a program that was struggling and had better days before,
Right.
2 back-to-back conference championships,
Right.
back-to-back undefeated conference play. So it's a core group that came from Jackson State.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, the most important thing when you're building a team, and I'm talking about a team of coaches right now, is you have to have people you trust. And Coach Prime is a big trust guy. He wants people around him that he trusts and that he knows are competent in their job, not just competent, but are able to excel at their job. But like I say, that trust factor, that he wants to be comfortable with people he's working with people that he knows has his back, that he knows that, you know, if the chips are down, he can count on to be in his corner, you know, and that's any head coach.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I was a young, you know, college student coming out, getting into coaching, that was the first thing, you know, coaches would tell you when you interviewed with them. And I've always prided myself in being loyal and being a guy that someone can depend on to do his job, to also be loyal to him, not in just trying to do my job right, but in my conversations with other people, inside and outside the organization. There was never been a time when anyone's ever questioned where my loyalties lie. You know, there's always been that, and but also my actions. You know, my actions to support his dream, his vision, his goals, and to make sure that I'm doing things that are going to help us be successful. You know, when I was a young coach, I went to a clinic. It's kind of ironic, but I was at Florida State, and Coach Bobby Bowden was talking, and Coach Bobby Bowden told all of us assistant coaches. He said, I tell my assistant coaches this every year when we get ready to start the season. Your job is to make me happy. You know, so my job is to make Coach Prime happy. And if I'm doing things that's helping us win, he's gonna be happy.
He's happy.
So that's what I try to do every day.
He's happy. Yeah, he values trust. He values capability, and he values that kind of focus and determination. You know, he'll tell the staff, leave home at home and leave work at work. Absolutely. You know, don't mix the two up. And with that core group that's come from Jackson State that has that experience of working together, you guys, you know, again, you guys know how to not only make it happen, but make it happen in relatively short order.
Right. Well, you know, he is right. You got to leave home at home and you know, work at work. My biggest problem is when I go home, I can't leave work at work all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I can leave home at home.
Yeah.
You know, I just sometimes, because I'm just always thinking about what we can do to get better, what I need to do to help us get better. You know, whether it be recruiting, whether it be watching film of our opponents, whether it be preparing myself to be a better coach. You know, but you know what? That is what it is. That's never going to change. I've been doing this 30 years. It's in my DNA, and but you know, I do know how to compartmentalize things at home, and I, you know, not always have work on my mind.
Gotcha.
Or at the forefront. It's always in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
It's just not always at the
It's a
forefront.
full-time job.
It is. It's, you know, and when I talk to people that are not into football and don't really know what coaches do, And it's not just at the college level, it's at the high school level as well, and obviously at the pro level. You know, it's a 7-day-a-week job, year round. It's, I mean, there's not a day that goes by that a good football coach is not thinking about something to do with football. But you know what? That's it with any business.
Yeah.
If you're in a business and you're successful,
amen,
you're going to be thinking about your business at some point every day.
Yeah.
And I know that's hard for people to understand, because you know, all they see is that we play 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, it depends on how far you go, 15 games possibly a year, and they don't understand that, you know, it's like this morning, as soon as I got to work this morning, I mean, all I'm looking at is 24 and 25 prospects this morning before we had our meeting.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, once, you know, I'll get back into the transfer portal at some point today when more kids get in, but that's a constant. I'm constantly checking that to see who gets in. But I mean, we're thinking, you know, 2 years down the line in recruiting already. You know, but if you don't, then you're behind.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get in on these kids their senior year anymore like you used to.
No. And y'all's work ethic bleeds over to everybody else. I mean, you look at the pregame show. I can't shut it down because you guys don't shut it down.
Right.
And folks see the outcome of the content, but they don't see the hours that go into it, and the relationships built, and the trust factor, and the communications. And that's not just with Coach Prime, but just with all the staff members.
Yeah.
That folks have to work together to accomplish what you see. So when you see that win out there, that didn't just happen in that 60 minutes of the game. That was 6 months before that game.
Well, you know, I got asked the question this weekend, what time my day starts. I said, man, I leave about 5:30 to come up here, you know, and what time do you get off? When I get off.
Yeah.
it's 5:30 until, and you know, it's just one of those deals where, you know, you don't really have hours. You know, I posted something the other day that was a line from a Young Dolph song.
Yeah.
But it was basically like, you know, saying, I've never punched a clock. Yeah. You know, and I haven't punched a clock. No. I've always been a coach where, you know, you got there early and you got off when you got off. Yeah. When the job was done that day. So I've never had an 8 to 5. Never been in a situation like that. Yeah. And I wouldn't know how to act.
Yeah. I've never been in situations where my pay or my increase wasn't attached to my work.
Right.
You know, some folks, and God bless them, you show up and do nothing, you get the same thing.
Right.
You know, my environment is, now if I get it, I got to get it.
That's right.
It's like I got to get after it. Nobody's going to hand it to you. You know, you guys, again, that core group that's transitioned from Jackson State to here, you know, in the coaching world, that ain't nothing new. And to fans, you know, so, you know, they left. Right. I know personally that you guys loved your time in Jackson.
Right.
You know, and I know personally and professionally that you guys, whatever you accomplish going forward is always attached to what started at Jackson State together. Speak on your time, you know, at Jackson State and what that meant to you.
Well, you know, I went to Jackson, and I mean, I bought a home there. I've got a home that's there now, and I didn't want to just, you know, I wanted to feel like it was a place that I could call home, and it was very quickly for me. You know, of course, the moment we stepped on campus, there was always rumors floating around about when Coach Prime was going to leave. Because you know, there was every time a job came open, ESPN would put his name in the category, and rightfully so. He earned that right, and you know, I felt like as a staff we earned that right to be mentioned in those conversations. But you know, it was always a deal where I was like, man, you know, I really enjoy living here. I really enjoy what we're doing. So, I mean, if something happens that allows us to you know, quote unquote, move up, then you know, that's just God's plan. But in the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy my time here. I'm gonna enjoy living here. I've got a lot of good friends in Jackson. A lot of good friends. I mean, people ask me all the time, "Are you ever, you know, when you sell your house, are you ever going to go back?" Of course. I mean, I really made some really good friends there that I want to keep in contact with, and you know, I want them to continue being a part of my life. I want to continue being a part of theirs, and you know, and I'm going to tell you something. As far as a fan base, and as far as just a group of people welcoming me as a coach, as a person. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wonderful. I mean, you had people that just, they really appreciated the job we did, and I appreciated their support. I appreciated how they welcomed us and how they cheered us, and I understand that there's always hurt feelings when transition occurs. But you know what? As time passes by, feelings go away, and people start to understand decisions that were made.
Sure.
And they start to appreciate. Well, you know what? I wanted them to stay longer and everything, but I appreciate what they did when they were here, and it's the same way for us. I appreciate those guys, even the ones that were little, have been a little negative about, but I understand it's emotional.
Sure.
It's emotional.
Yeah, and that's where I am too, Coach. It's like I deal in two silos: understanding and agreement.
Right.
And we don't have to agree to be friends.
That's exactly right.
But I love to understand where people are coming from, and I understand the pain of the departure.
Yeah.
And so you're entitled to those feelings, but I also appreciate that as time goes on, and success continues at Jackson State and success restarts here at Colorado, people will celebrate it.
Right.
And because no matter what Liam Barty and Robert Brazil went on to do in life, it started at Jackson State.
Exactly
it's the same thing with this group.
Well, the thing about it too is Coach Prime, when he left there to a lot of coaches just leave and move on. I think he had a very big part. I won't say he made the decision, but I think his support for TC getting the job certainly helped that transition and helped Jackson State make what I feel was the right decision. I mean, I think TC deserves the opportunity. I think he's done a great job. He's a Jackson State alum. He's coached there. He's from there. He's got his family there. And, it's good to see a program be successful and somebody on that staff reap the reward from that success. And because listen, I understand, I've been in a situation before where you were part of a successful program, and sometimes people feel that need to reach out there and pull in a big name or pull in someone that they think will be a splash hire. But I think they made their splash hire with TC.
I totally agree, and I think that the energy and the culture shift with TC's influence still kind of stays the same. I think some of those partnerships, whether it's Walmart or Strahan, you name it, get to stay in place. Under Armour with the uniform. So a lot of times, coaching, you have been in this game 30 years. A lot of times when you take over as a head coach, it's like somebody giving you the steering wheel to the Titanic. You got it because the ship was sinking. Well, here is probably one of the first times, at least in the SWAC, that a person inherits a program with a strong foundation built and an up arrow going. So
you've been given the keys to a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And but also, I mean, TC, like I say, Coach Prime cares a lot about TC. TC obviously cares a lot about Coach Prime. So having that relationship still going is going to be beneficial for Jackson State as well.
Going to be huge
because that's just good business.
Let's talk about Pollock at CU. What are some of the things that you talked about? You managing that portal and being that special assistant, Coach Prime. What are some of those things that you're going to be doing here with your talents for the Colorado program?
Well, I'm going to be assisting with the offensive side of the football in any way that Sean wants me to, our offensive coordinator. I mean, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get in where I fit in. Coach Prime has always kind of called me his Swiss Army blade knife because I do have a wide variety of talents and strengths where I can coach pretty much any position on the offensive side of football. I feel like I'm pretty good at recruiting, and I'm a good organizer. So I'll assist in any way possible on that end. And then of course, want to make sure I focus a lot of my recruiting efforts from the high school level on my kids in Georgia and Alabama because of my relationships with so many of the schools and coaches there, and I can relate to those kids really well because that's where I grew up, and that's where I cut my teeth in football, and I know what kind of players are in those states. I know what kind of programs are in those states, and it just gives me an opportunity to really, focus my efforts in, the recruiting hotbed of the country. The Southeast, and that area is really, really strong, and so I'm excited about the opportunity to continue to try to make a direct line from Georgia and Alabama to Colorado.
We had the best hair in the SWAC. Now we got the best hair in the Pac-12.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt, man. There's no doubt.
And we're going to be doing more of these, Coach. I appreciate your time, man.
Well, I appreciate you, Neely, and, I'm just excited to be here in Colorado. And, we're just a couple of Southern boys that moved out here to the West.
Yeah.
And we're going to, it's exciting. And I'm ready to get things rolling. We've already been rolling, but I'm ready to get those kids here on campus and get to see what we're working with, and let's get these guys ready to win a Pac-12 championship and be in the playoffs next year.
Let's go Buffs.
Go Buffs, baby. We're going to find some players. We're looking for dogs right now. Hey, if you're in Georgia and Alabama, we're coming. We're coming to get you. We're going to bring you out here, out west. Once we get you out here, you ain't going back.